Tokyo, Japan. My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. Hello, and welcome to episode 72, part 2, Deep Depression. I strongly suggest you listen to episode 71, part 1, which is on mild depression, because that's kind of a foundation. I might be repeating some things. There's also some new ideas here. So I would suggest you listen first to episode 71, part 1, mild depression. That being said, pain is inevitable in life. Suffering is optional. And that's had a big impact on me, particularly when it comes to depression. Pain is inevitable in life. It's a part of life. We're all going to suffer some pain, and it can be emotional, it can be intellectual, it can be physical. We will all suffer some pain, but suffering is optional. It's your choice. Deep depression can be overwhelmingly powerful. With deep depression, many times a person would feel there's no way out. There's no relief. There's nothing I can do. And that's false. You got there by taking some action or inaction. So something keyed that, something happened, there was action that was taken, there are actions you can take to help improve the situation and to bring you back to a more equilibrium state. So my strong suggestion is do not be alone, particularly with deep depression. Do not be alone. Even if it means sitting in the same room on the sofa with somebody next to you, do not be alone. That's key. So what happens when I'm really deeply depressed, and I've been on a few horrible occasions, I turned out of desperation to my friends. My friends, my loved ones, and that's one and the same. I'm so lucky to have my family, because my family, they're my friends. As well as those outside my family that I'm lucky enough to be considered a friend. And then I ask them for help. Now, I like to be independent. I hate to be a burden on other people. When I have gotten to those deep, black perspectives and I was depressed, it was hard for me to ask for help. Now stop and think of your best friends. If your best friend came to you and asked for help, would you hesitate? Of course not. You'd be right there for them. That's what friendship is all about. To be there for them. Not just in the good times, but also in the bad. You want the best for your friend. That's friendship. So, count on your friends. Lean on your friends. Ask them for help. Because deep depression can be very serious. What can you do to lead yourself out of depression? Talk to your friends, that's very important. Here's something else. Constructive action. I walked for hours when I was deeply depressed. I engaged the physical world. When I was deeply depressed, I ran 4 hours. And when you run, you have to be aware, you have to focus in order to be safe. Even though I'm running along a river, on a bicycle path, I still have to be aware of other bicycles, other runners. Sometimes when we come to a bridge, we have to cross a street. So the idea is to focus. Focus on outside of yourself. Weightlifting. When I've been weightlifting, and it quickly reminded me to focus. I was pretty depressed. I had just broken up with a woman. I was despondent. And I went to lift weights, and I wasn't paying attention. And I didn't put the clip on the bar. And it was too heavy for me, and all of the plates just fell off the bar. And I was so embarrassed. I was really focused after that incident. Each and every time I weightlift, I have to focus, because it's not just my safety, it's the safety of those around me too. So stretching, you really have to be careful and you have to be focused that you gently stretch, slowly stretch, indulge in the stretch, and breathing. Make sure I eat good, nutritious food, which means making. If I'm cooking, there's fire involved, things can get burned. I must be focused outside of myself. Get good rest. Now, sleep when and as much as I can, because when you're depressed, when a person is depressed, typically sleeping is difficult because your mind is racing. So there's something called centering you can do. And I'll walk you through the step-by-step idea of centering. And it's actually used in self-hypnosis. So what you would do if you're laying down in your bed, you want to put your feet flat, so that means your knees are bent. That'll also protect your lower back. Lay very comfortably, maybe with a little pillow under your head, and your arms next to you with palms up. The first step is you tense every muscle in both feet. In other words, you make a fist with your feet. And you really tense them up. You tense, and then you release. Then you go to your legs. And you want to tense every muscle in your leg for about 5 seconds. So, and you tense, and release. Then you go to your torso. Same thing. Tense, and release. Now your arms. Tense, release. Then your face. You want to squish your face. You want to tense every single little muscle in your release. Now you start concentrating on your breathing, and you want to slow your breath down. And the secret to breathing slowly and deeply is not the inhale. It's the long, slow exhale. So you'll never deny yourself breath. You'll always get breath. You can control that exhale a little more. Slowly inhale. From the stomach, imagine the air is filling your legs, your torso, your head, and then you exhale all of that air. And you count in series of 4. So one inhale, 1 exhale. 2 inhale, 2 exhale. 3 inhale, and you do it very, very slowly, and you focus and concentrate on your breathing. You will have random thoughts. Maybe a siren will go by. That's a reminder to focus on your breathing. You'll hear a noise in the house. Maybe the air conditioner turns on or the heater turns on. That's a reminder to focus on your breathing. All of the sounds, all of the possible distractions serve as a reminder to focus on your breathing. What typically happens, people will lose count. That's okay, because that means you're completely focused. That will help you drift off to sleep. It also helps you when you have high nervousness or high tension. That will help you relax. Okay. Here's something else. You can ask yourself 3 questions, and this is from Constructive Living. And really think about the answers. What have I received from others today? Doesn't mean money. It could be time. Maybe your friend talked to you today. Maybe your significant other in your life made breakfast for you, or cooked dinner for you, or they called you on the telephone, or, and now this is how it extends to reality. I love riding my bicycle. I thank the designers of that bicycle. I thank the people that constructed that bicycle. Because of their efforts, I am having a wonderful experience riding my bicycle. I've received the benefits of their work every time I ride that bicycle. When I go to travel on the subway, person sweeping the steps, they made it safer for me and cleaner for me to experience the subway. The driver of the train, the subway station master, the people on the train who allow me to get off by stepping aside. What have I received today? Then you ask, what have I given others? And suddenly you can see what you've given, what you've received, far outweighs what you've given. And then to top that off, what trouble have I caused others today? What trouble have I caused others today? And it makes you realize, I'm so lucky. Reality supports me every single day. Whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood, whether I'm happy or depressed or deeply depressed, reality supports me every single day. And that might help change your focus. So, the last thing, if none of this works for you, then you truly need to get professional help, because there might be a chemical imbalance. So, take these steps that I've suggested, if I may. Realize that pain is inevitable in life. Suffering is your choice. And then remember, do not be alone. Be with your friends. Ask them for help. Ask them for help. They'll be there for you. Focus on things that you can do physically, constructive action, to help your body and mind. Focus on something other than that depressing thoughts. Make sure you eat well. Make sure you get rest. And then ask yourself those 3 questions. I'll give them to you again. What have I received from others today? What have I given to others today? What trouble have I caused others today? Depression is a temporary state. Keep that in mind too. This shall pass. Focus on what you can do. I wish you the best. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.